Thank you, Madam Chair. And I feel this discussion is very important, but its time is also very important and critical. The resilience community operates in a context in which there are more shocks that are more frequent, more intense, and it operates in a context that is getting more and more complex. The good news in the meantime is that the topic has generated growing interest over the last few years. Resilience policies and strategies have been formulated by many partners, and research institutions and think tanks now have resilience on their agenda. But all this means that there are very high expectations and tight deadlines for the resilience community to collectively deliver results. A lot of research work is being carried out and evidence is being built, but it is now urgent that we turn this research into well-informed action on the ground, that we bring them at scale, that we measure and document their impact, and that we learn lessons. During a side event yesterday, Gero Carletti said, "Resilience is a difficult concept. It's a dream for a researcher, but it's a nightmare for a practitioner." We have to change that, or at least the nightmare part of it. We have to make sure research is more coordinated and more focused so as to identify research gaps and work on them while we build multi-stakeholder platform to address the diversity of needs. We know that more research is needed in some areas, for example, on the link between qualitative and quantitative analysis or on predictive analysis. But while we do that, we need to act on what we already know. We need to learn lessons and inject these new lessons and ideas in the process. My second point relates to the capacities of government to integrate elements of resilience in their own sectoral policies. FAO has recently carried out a study in about 30 disaster-prone countries and found that while the notion of risk is taken into consideration at macro level, proactive disaster risk reduction is seldom considered at sectoral level. This means that sectoral policies of our traditional line ministries often do not sufficiently consider the risk dimension, and therefore its governance, prevention, and mitigation. This implies in turns that they are not sufficiently equipped to make sure relevant investments are made. At FAO, this issue of governance is one of the pillars of our resilience agenda, and we are keen to build institutions, to build capacities, and to help in the formulation of policies. My third and final point relates to an issue I touched upon at the beginning of my intervention. There is currently a very high interest on the international community on the issue. And we need to thank the donor for their investments that they have been doing and that they are planning to do. But it is very critical for us to keep the momentum. We have, for example, what we consider a model of a resilience program in Somalia. It is informed by strong resilience analysis. It is multi-year, multi-partner, and multi-sector, and it shows results. Yet, we see the resourcing of this program going down. So how can we keep the momentum high? How can we make sure we provide our donors' counterparts with the evidence they need to convince their policymakers and their taxpayers? Thank you.
Thank you.